and welcome to Thriver TV, the place to break free from narcissistic abuse with quantum tools and understandings. One of the hardest things to get your head around when being narcissistically abused is this: how entitled narcissists are. And there seems to be an expectation that other people should grant them what they want and that they're entitled to have specific and special treatment, and that the universe revolves around them. And at the moment, I'm actually having an experience of this. I've come across a narcissistic neighbour who's vegetarian, and she believes that her neighbours should not cook meat and they should bow to her nasal passages because she doesn't like the smell of meat that wafts onto her property. And you know, that's extreme. We know that this is outrageous, but that's exactly the sort of stuff that narcissists think they're entitled to. So I want to make it really clear from the beginning that there is a big difference between healthy entitlement and narcissistic entitlement. Healthy entitlement is being sure of oneself. It's about being honest and healthily assertive. And it does include putting one's best foot forward, asking for what we want and what we need, and even expecting great results in our lives. But this is not about doing so at the expense of others and being caught in the hubris of believing that we should have more than others or that other people were put on earth to bow to us. When narcissists start acting entitled, it can be a really grey area, and it can be really quite insidious because it does seem to happen bit by bit. And if you have a parent who is narcissistic, the entitlement is something that you've grown up with. It's your normal. And there are narcissistic parents who have groomed their children to hand them energy and significance and to be emotional dump masters, as well as jump to and cater to their every whim, and who have reacted with punishing vengeance or rejection when they haven't received what they want from their child. If we've met a narcissist in a relationship sense, this person may have love bombed us at the beginning and granted us so much attention and energy and gifts that we were swept off our feet. And when they started taking back energy and becoming entitled, it can be so gradual. It seems so out of character that we might miss it, or we want to miss it. We want to believe that this person is the best thing since sliced bread. So what is wrong with being with an entitled person? Plenty. You are being reduced to an object who is serving a beast, which is a narcissist's insatiable ego. You're not treated as a human being with rights, needs, and emotions, let alone as an equal. The narcissist needs to constantly keep getting energy from the outside to try to ward off his or her inner demons, which is the terrible feelings of insecurity, unworthiness, and defectiveness, by getting more and being significant to others. The run-amok ego, which to all extent purposes has taken over the narcissist and believes everyone else owes them, has this paranoia. If I don't get in first, you will take from me, hurt me, ruin me. I have to make sure I get my fair share so you don't. But perception and reality is so skewed that what the narcissist believes is the fair share is not at all. It's the ridiculous, unreasonable amount of energy, attention, accolades, and preferential treatment that a fragile, insecure ego needs to try to feel okay. And it's never ending. And it's especially pronounced when a narcissist is teetering on the edge of narcissistic injury. Unhealthy narcissistic entitlement is knee-jerk reactions to unattended to wounds. If the narcissist is insecure, jealous, and possessive, which really relates to their own wounds and terrors of not being enough to be loved and being abandoned, He or she may demand that you let them track you, or that you report in each day, or give them passwords to your devices so they can check up on you. The narcissist's terror of being rendered insignificant can play out as the entitlement of having to be the center of attention at a social function, and punishing you mercilessly when you grant attention to someone else other than them. The entitlement may be expressed as how terrible you are and guilting you or threatening you that they'll leave the relationship for not being a loving, caring person. Another way this can unfold is the narcissist demanding that as soon as they want your energy or company, that you drop everything and grant them that. Yet they will tell you how busy they are and how important their life is compared to yours if you want their companionship. Narcissists generally expect your undivided attention and assistance when they want you to do something for them. Yet they're terribly distracted, anxious, aggrieved, and agitated when you ask them to do things for you. They'll put it off. They won't do it properly. They may even refuse to do it or promise repetitively to do it and find every excuse not to. You will start to notice, if you take stock of how much space, energy, money, and effort you're giving up and is being taken from you, and how much space, energy, and resources the narcissist is taking, and how little effort they're granting. The truth is, relationships with narcissists are distinctly imbalanced, meaning you feel like there are separate sets of rules. The narcissist is looking after their needs and you're looking after the narcissist's needs. Or if the narcissist is granting you things, it's used as ammunition, which is something that altruistic narcissists do. They give, but it comes with terrible conditions. They render you dependent and hooked, and they get you through guilt, and they hold over you what they're giving you. Part of narcissistic entitlement is the melodrama and victimhood behaviour they exhibit when things don't go the way their sense of entitlement would like it to, and how they fully expect that if they're having a bad day, that no one else should be having a good day. They see the worst in others and declare how bad it is how bad those people are for treating them a certain way. Their expectations are completely unrealistic, and other people, they really believe that other people owe them, even at those people's expense. Narcissistic double standards are another part of the narcissist's entitlement, such as, I can be late or unreliable, but how dare anyone else treat me like that? I can talk to you however I feel, but don't dare talk to me like that. One of the most perverse and dangerous aspects of narcissism is that he or she will feel entitled to hurt you if their fragile ego is not served by you adequately. As far as the narcissist's disordered thinking goes, if you did not do the right thing by them, then you deserve to suffer. Vengeance is a very common byproduct of narcissistic abuse. So where is entitlement coming from? It's really ironic that the people in the world with the least levels of entitlement, or the urge to want, take, steal, or manipulate to get stuff, are the ones who generally have the least stuff. Most of us have met people in communities who have very little, who are inwardly solid because of the genuine gratitude and love that they feel for their life and each other, despite having very little. Entitlement is emptiness, it's ego. It's a dissatisfaction of never feeling good enough and believing if I could just get more or control people and situations around me more, then I can feel better. It's a bottomless pit. It's an addiction. All addictions are about trying to find out-of-self medication to take away inner emptiness and anxiety. Entitlement, wanting more, doesn't produce lasting good feelings. The more entitlement that is employed, the more it generates the escalating feelings of not being worthy and not being good enough, because the root of the issue is never being addressed. It's being self-avoided by trying to get more. Narcissists commonly project their entitlement onto you, and they'll tell you how entitled you are. So many people have gone through the experiences of being accused by the narcissist of wanting this and wanting that and being a gold digger, and you did this to get that, and all the crazy things that you can see the narcissist doing so clearly. It can become devastating, that level of pathological behaviour. And even criminal acts of entitlement can be twisted around, and you're the one smeared and discredited with them. So this totally bends people's non-narcissistic brains until they realise that there is not a real rational person inside the narcissist that's doing this stuff. Because what you're dealing with is the false self, which doesn't take accountability regarding wrongdoing because its existence is precarious and it has to scapegoat in order to survive. What's frightening and true is that the insane, twisted allegations are real to the narcissist. Once he or she lies purposefully to others and to self, the lie becomes real. The narcissist truly can't tell the difference between fact and fiction. Such is the terrible product of extreme unconsciousness. And even when you try to prove the facts, the narcissist will still cling to the lies. And they'll say things like, "How would you like it if I went off all the time without any consideration for you and left you high and dry? So, okay, too bad. I'm going to start looking after me from now on," which, you know, they've been doing all along. However, this is what I really want to look at. We're going to take our power back here. The narcissist isn't completely wrong here. It's interesting, you know, because I really do want to look at how we have unconsciously contributed to what we've been suffering, the abuse of narcissistic entitlement. Okay, so let's, as we always do, bring the energy and the healing back to the only place that it can take place, which is within us. And this can only happen when we take radical personal responsibility. There is zero healing in looking at the narcissist only. There truly is. There's total healing when we turn it around and we look within us. If we're playing out relationships with entitled people, how are we co-generating this experience? And why are we hooked in? And why are we not yet free from it? And as always, of course, I'm never saying that we're operating at the unconscious levels of maliciousness and disregard for others as narcissists do. But most definitely when we're caught up with unconscious people and relationships, we have our own stuff to heal in order to break free from this. Absolutely, I put my hand up in regard to previous relationships that I was playing out my own levels of entitlement with. I believed I was entitled to make this person love me and treat me properly. I decided that he should and must, and it was his duty to grant me love, approval, survival, and security. Why was I doing this? Because of my own deficient levels of self-love, my own wounds of not feeling enough to be loved. I wasn't consciously trying to force people to hand over stuff or demand or steal or try to control people in the insane ways the narcissist does. But when I'm really honest with myself, I know that as a person who felt empty and insecure, I acted out entitlement. I believed I was entitled to hang on to a relationship because this person must grant me this, whatever it was, rather than doing what was the right thing, which was letting go and taking care of those needs as an adult for myself. The things at that stage that I hadn't healed enough on the inside to generate for myself. The self-love, the self-approval, the ability to generate my own security and survival that only I can be to myself, and then generate and sustain others who add more to that. Because life, as Wayne Dwyer famously said, which somebody brought to my attention only a couple of days ago, and this is powerful. What he said, and I think this is it, it's very close to this, said that life does not give you what you want, it grants you who you are being. So if we are not being those things to ourselves, self-love, approval, survival and security, our own wholeness, we're always going to be susceptible to feel entitled in this emptiness to get it from someone or something else. That's how ego works. And then ironically, we start dancing with somebody else's entitled ego in a power struggle for the inner resources that neither of us have shored up on the inside yet. And you know, it's only consciousness that'll bring us to doing that. And that's really the real question. Who's going to be conscious to heal this stuff? Can you see how it works? So I can't recommend enough, if you are painfully being stripped of yourself by a narcissist's entitlement, let go. Stop looking to them for yourself and turn inwards, self-partner and heal the inner parts of you that are getting caught up in this. That's what I did. And as a result, I now enjoy equal healthy relationships. And I healed my stuff with Quantum Freedom Healing, which is the component of the NARP program, which so many people in this community have achieved now. And if you are at the stage where you want to directly and deeply reprogram your subconscious and heal, the NARP program is a powerful way to achieve this. Okay, so I hope that you enjoyed this video and it made a lot of sense to you. And if you'd like to learn more about how to heal for real from toxic relationships and narcissistic abuse, you can sign up to my free 16-day recovery course, which includes an invitation to a healing workshop with me, a set of ebooks, and so much more. So to access them, just go to melanietoniaevans.com/free course. That's the one word, free course. And if you want to see more videos, make sure you like and subscribe so you get notified as soon as each new one is released. So until next time, keep smiling, keep healing, and keep thriving, because there's nothing else to do. Lots of love. Bye-bye.